Hey everybody, and welcome back to the ArtosisCasts YouTube channel. If you're wondering why videos ceased for a bit and what's going on with the channel, I did make a post, so definitely go check that out on the actual ArtosisCasts YouTube channel. But anyways, welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here and checking this out to outline what we're going to be casting here. This is a match that I have sponsored. This is a MoonLight Pro League match. That's when pro gamers get together at night and play for a prize pool in teams of 3. Now, this particular one is going to be the team of Scan, Motive, and Spire going up against the team of Barracks, Ruin, and HM. So all very high-level players. Should be a fantastic one. We are starting off with a best of seven and then a winners league. So, yeah, going to be a long match. Hope that you guys enjoy and definitely let me know about things like audio level and all of that. So, let's get into this first game. It has already begun. As you can see, we have Scan over here in the middle left of Sylphid, our 3-player map. He's going to be going up against HM over here on the right side. So, it is going to be a Terran versus Zerg on an absolutely fantastic map. Really stoked to see how this is going to go down. HM has been gaining a lot of standing within the scene for quite some time. He continues to rise up in his power. Definitely one of the best new Zerg players out there. Expecting to see him joining the ASL ranks very, very soon. He's going to go ahead with the hatchery first. Scan over here, just doing a very standard barracks into scout. He'll go up here to check for Overlord. He'll probably change the direction of this SCV now. We'll see. He might just go ahead and scout anyways because the Overlord doesn't necessarily need to go in that direction. But it does enough that some Terrans like to scout up to about here and then go ahead and send the SCV to the other main. But he'll be going this way, and as he sees this Overlord going this direction, I'm sure he'll turn around now, right? No, he doesn't want to be tricked. He's going to go ahead, check the natural. It's not there. And then head on over. Now, he has had to make a second supply depot because he doesn't know if it's a pool first build. Of course, we know that it is not. It is just a hatchery first. Second SCV going out to scout while this one goes home. And the reason for this is just in case Zerglings are on the way. If this SCV goes straight down from over here, you aren't going to know if Zerglings are coming to rush you. So a lot safer that way from Scan, just kind of crossing his T's and dotting his I's. And as he sees the hatchery, he should be throwing down that command center very, very quickly. He does actually start a 3rd Marine there. So kind of interesting. We don't normally see that. You know, normally you just kind of cut Marine production as soon as you see that your opponent is expanding first. So yeah, kind of a little bit different there. His SCV getting hit down a little bit from HM. Now, HM has gone for a 3 hatchery gas timing, and Scan knows that. He saw when the gas went down, and he's going to know that there is a 3rd hatchery. He's looking around, and there's no 3rd hatchery in here yet, so he's going to probably assume that it's out on the map somewhere. Now, Scan is gathering a few Marines out of the map. 4 Marines in an SCV start to walk out. He has to be careful, though. If you end up losing these 4 Marines, you're going to get really, really far behind. But there's nothing in the area to see them. HM has been pretty greedy this game so far. He only has 4 Zerglings of his own. We see nothing like a Sunken. No more Lings are on the way, just drones and 3 bases. So he has completely missed this. This is going to throw him off. He's going to have to turn around with those Lings immediately, but definitely some damage will be done here. Here goes Scan now into this natural. Going to go after some of these drones. A bunch of Zerglings are being made, and you can see the drones microing frantically trying to get out of here. Okay, he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. And he's going to get Lings. This is insane. Honestly insane. Oh my god. He got like 5 drones and most of the Zerglings with those 4 Marines. That was an absolutely phenomenal rush. Backed up by just really smart map awareness here from Scan, right? He saw the first Overlord over here. He kind of patrolled the area looking for anything that was scouting him, and there wasn't any. So HM being a little bit greedy with this fast 3 hatchery play and Scan punishing hugely, hugely. Now let's take a look at Scan's actual build over here. There's the eBay. He is getting a bunker. He doesn't have that many Marines, but he has been nonstop in this 1 barracks, and in fact going for a quick academy as well. So with that bunker, he should be completely safe, but no real opportunity to put any more pressure on this game. This SCV going to go out for that scout. Well, not this whole game, but like right now. Obviously, you know, he only has like 5 Marines against, you know, whatever Zerg is going to field. You're not likely to get anything done 5 minutes into the game with that. So anyways, now that I've cleared up that, Spire on the way in the main base. We have a creep colony at both locations. He doesn't want to overmake Lings. He has to make a lot of drones since he lost so many, which does take a little bit of oomph out of his position, right? Like either economically or aggressively. You can see that Scan is playing very defensively. He's got that comsec going up, blocking the bunker. He has a beautiful depot here, and he's even got an SCV on hold position. So he's actually expecting HM, that type of move that you see until the medic is out. If you see the SCV sitting in front, that's like a big safety move. So he was expecting HM to possibly do something like a Zergling all-in after losing so many drones. It is pretty popular for Zergs to do that. They do not like taking damage early on, and oftentimes will just turn on the aggression. But he hasn't done that. HM has actually recovered his drone count really nicely. And we do have that Scan going down from Scan, so sees the Spire timing. He's going to be able to get his turrets up in time. And he's gone up into 4 barracks play. So 4 barracks play, that's going to be heavy Marine medic coming out for Scan. Now, that can be very good, but one thing to mention is this base is basically unbreakable. Once you have 2 Sunkens here, you're never going to kill it with just bio. It's like actually impossible to go up this little ramp, kill 2 Sunkens, and whatever mutas come over. So that's going to be something that Scan's not able to really pressure with his 4 racks play, but he can pressure the front here. So we'll see if we're going to have quicker Hydralisk Den for Lurkers or more Sunkens going down for HM, because I think he'll probably have to do one or the other unless he vastly out-micros Scan here. Now the 4 Raxes are up. That's a very quick factory as well. This build just doing fantastically right now for Scan. 6 mutas are out. You really need 7 to one-shot SCV. So Scan's not too afraid yet. He knows the timings of all this. He's throwing up those additional turrets now to make sure the mutas can't just wreck everything. He does have 7 now. And as those mutas start to fly in, we'll see what they can pick off. Going after a few Marines there right at the start. This Overlord, of course, being very, very annoying. That is something that Scan may want to like either lift the factory to pick off or Scan to pick off. You do not want that Overlord watching every movement there of your Marines. And, of course, such an annoying micro-location for mutas, too. They can always retreat over this high ground. Taking a look over on HM's side, he is going Hydralisk Den as well as Queen's Nest. We have the Hive on the way. Nothing else really over here yet. He's actually equalized the drone to SCV count, which is really impressive. Look at that, 35 workers to the 35 of Scan. So his economy is looking fantastic on 3 bases. Like 35 drones across 3 bases, he's really able to afford whatever he wants at this point. Now the factory comes out here, a lot of Marines starting to come out. This is where you're going to have to see more Sunkens, and you can see already HM on top of that. No second Sunken there yet. Like, again, that's the hardest place to attack into, so he may even skip that, but I think it would probably be smart to throw a second one down. Now, HM dogging this army. He has a full group of mutas here. Of course, a full group being 11, not 12, since you need an Overlord in that control group to make them stack like this. Loses 1 right there. Marine's just kind of patrolling back and forth. He has that +1 attack done already, +1 armor coming up. Science facility as well as the second starport coming, and 5 racks production already in play here for Scan. Yeah, he's got his second gas as well. So we're going to see a lot of science vessels start popping out. This is looking, with the Lurkers morphing right now, there's not any real possibility of Scan getting in here and busting anything. Like, even with the 4 Sunks, HM is pretty safe. But then the Lurkers come up and it's like, okay, the game is just going to go long. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty epic macro game here, right? Scan's going to get into his vessels, into more of his upgrades, right? There's the second engineering bay. And he is just going to focus on nailing those irradiates, rotating back and forth, trying to deny a 4th base from HM. HM, like, unlikely to be able to take a 4th base very quickly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him throw 2 macro hatches down. There's one. That's kind of the trendy thing to do on a map like this right now, is to add macro hatches so that you actually get a really large army and then take a slightly later 4th. Because if you try to do it off of just like your 3 hatches, generally Terran can deny it. And if Terran denies a 4th base like twice, you're almost dead as Zerg. You don't have a lot of options at that point. You lost a lot. Now, some harassment coming in. This is a really great time right now to come and kill off a few SCVs. You can see he takes the worker advantage with that harassment because he's basically invincible, like I've been talking about, right? A knight is here. We have the 2 Sunkens on the high ground as well as a lurker. So the mutas, like, they can pick off Marines. They can go after some of the SCVs and everything. He still wants to get value out of these. Oh, beautiful glaives right there, picking off a few extra Marines. Scan right now leaving a small group here. This is a small containment group so that there can't be an attack that comes out of here or a drone that tries to go up, like, let's say, to this area, which Scan already has a Marine on, right? If you look at realistic 4th base locations, it's probably this one or this one. I mean, I guess you could try to take this, but this is like less gas and minerals than most bases and more wide open, so less likely to see HM try to take there. All right now Scan getting a lot of bio. He has those 2-1 upgrades going, 5 racks production as well as 2 vessels at a time. This is some anti-drop as you see Scourge kind of spread all over the place. Irradiate goes down. Looks like onto a lurker. Yeah, one of those stacked lurkers there. There are multiple lurkers on top of each other. That one gonna end up dying. And in fact, look at this. He's going for 3 macro hatches instead of the 2 that I had suggested before. So that kind of matches his worker count. 43 drones is really a lot. His economy is very, very big right now. Scan over here. Oh, this Muta counterattack. Going to try to deny this base. Let's see. He's going to slow it at minimum. I'm not sure if he'll be able to completely deny it. Seems like Scan just has enough bio to push this back. Nor radiates upon those mutas. Definitely something he wants to consider, though, I would say. You know, mutas just stay annoying until you kill them off. Until you get them down to like 2 or 3 mutas, they are really annoying. So I think it is definitely worth throwing a couple of radiates down upon them, even though you're really looking for radiates on things like lurkers and defilers. Now, some Hydras actually coming out with this, and we can see Hydra's speed is on the way. Ooh, Scan actually stims forwarding. Oh my god, that was actually really good. The Plague went down, and HM just thought that Scan would end up running away there, but instead, Scan, he was the fireman. He ran into the fire, got rid of a lurker, got rid of a defiler, which is a very nice couple pickoffs. That's like 2 irradiates he saved, basically. But now we see what HM is doing. HM is going for Hydra, Lurker, Defiler. This is getting more and more popular. It's incredibly powerful, and it's hard for Terran to really break. It makes for longer games overall. And as you can see, things like Plague plus Hydras, very, very strong, because they just one-shot everything. Now another Plague goes down. But Scan has enough bio here. He's going to be able to push this back for now. Now, what is Scan's choice? Okay, 3 tanks siege mode on the way. We don't see an armory, and we don't see a second factory. I think we'll probably see a second factory and maybe even a third. Okay, there's the second factory. We'll see if he ends up going for more than that, because the Hydra Lurker Defiler is too much to handle with Vessel Marine Medic, like SK Terran. It's actually kind of a counter to it, because first off, the Plagues come down nonstop, and they always have the Hydras to pick off the vessels. So the Hydras kind of, you know, range the vessels out. They make it so the vessels can't get close to the Lurkers and Defilers. They'll just get picked off. So it just becomes incredibly hard to take out key units. These Hydras, maybe not the best little attack there from HM. It feels like he's being a little bit wasteful just at this moment. Mutas come in now as well. But yeah, like I was talking about, right, the vessels are very difficult to use against it. The bio is still useful, like it gets plagued and dark storms are there too, but you can still kind of battle against it reasonably well. It's just the vessels have a very hard time. So mass siege tank on smaller maps can be a little bit of an answer. On bigger maps, we haven't really seen anyone dominate against this strategy yet, though. So we'll see if Scan just stays on the 2 factory. I'm sure he's going to make a hell of a lot of siege tanks here. There is the armory we were waiting for. I mean, if you're going to get a lot of siege tanks, attack upgrades for siege tanks are phenomenal, so he's going for that. In the meantime, HM does take that base. When you're playing Hydra, Lurker, Defiler, it's less about jumping around in Nidus's and more about heavier map control. So this base makes a little bit more sense with that being something that you're considering here. Now, Scan catches a decent group of these Hydras on the map. Of course, Darkstorm goes down, so he does have to back up. You might wonder to yourself, why not just run under the Dark Storm? Hydras can't hit Marines under there. Well, if a single Lurker or Marine comes up, then you lose your entire army. So you don't want to do that. You still want to retreat from the Dark Swarms. But a lot of Siege Tanks being made, fielded out, and I love this spread. Take a look. We're going to zoom way out here to examine what's going on. So the 4th base is here. We have a lot of macro hatches. He is just really pumping out Hydra, Lurker, Defiler right now. Very Hydra heavy, but what Scan is doing is trying to hold everything back, and then he'll be able to fall back to his Siege Tanks. You see some great Plagues, great Dark Storms going down, forcing Scan back. Scan is losing a lot of the map right now, but he has these Siege Tanks, which can gain him a lot of value as well. He's getting that plus attack, and with this spread, he's going to be able to take this base. I think eventually he'll take this base, and what we should see is Scan pushing down into this area, I think. Now, again, this is a very new Zerg strategy, so we don't actually have it fully mapped out how you're supposed to play against something like this. So Scan may have some different way he does want to end up playing. But yeah, like that's kind of my thought. If you're going for the mass Siege Tanks, you probably want to, you know, clog up the center a little bit and eventually be able to push down into this area. So right now, another push forward here. He's got to be careful as he gets to those Siege Tanks. Here we go. A Dark Storm going to go down on some of the Siege Tanks there. That Fire Bat actually being worth quite a bit until the Lurkers burrow. And as the Swarm goes down, of course, these Lurkers do become invincible against Siege Tanks. So another one goes down, and he pushes almost all the way up to this base. So very, very annoying stuff. He is going to lose a few Siege Tanks. In the meantime, Scan pushing through the center with his main Bio Ball. A lot of medics in here right now, trying to heal up when those Plagues occur, but the Plagues do suck the energy out of the medics so quickly. Now, Scan rotating over. He's going to try to hit this base. Only a single Lurker for defense. In the meantime, a little push up this ramp. It looks like he even eats his own Defiler to try to get a Lurker further up here. No Fire Bats, so even a single Lurker is going to be deadly. This one actually walks in the wrong direction, gets killed, and Scan has to lift as a single Lurker gets up on top of his mining. Now, Scan is getting a counter kill, it looks like, on this base. Let's see if he actually gets it. No, the Plague and Dark Storm come down, and Scan has to back up, loses all of his Bioforce, retains the medics, which is, of course, a great keep. You don't want to be losing those medics. They do cost 25 gas a pop and take longer to make than Marines. So, yeah, you want to keep those alive if at all possible. Now, Scan rallying out more Siege Tanks. He's going to retake this area that HM kind of denied from him, but it feels like HM, in some ways, is starting to gain some advantages in this game, right? He denied this base. Scan didn't really deny this, and HM now expanding up to 12 o'clock. If he can get that base held, that's going to be huge. That is going to be huge. So let's take a look what else Scan is up to. It looks like he's started a second armory, so maybe more tank upgrades, like getting armor there as well. Possibly thinking about a bit of a mech switch. Honestly, his bio upgrades are so strong, though, that would be hard to imagine. So I'm not entirely sure about the second armor. He might be kind of floundering here. He's getting like a bunch of money, trying to figure out what he's going to do with it. But I'm guessing it's just going to be plating, you know, for those Siege Tanks. Now, HM, you know, he's just making enough lings to eat as Defiler food. The Hydra's really well upgraded. Look at this, Hydra Lurker on 2-3 upgrades against the 3-2 over on Terran's side. A few Marines do go in here, so it looks like he'll get the denial on this base for now. And this is like a really important moment. Denying it the first time, incredibly important. And it also tells Scan what HM is up to. HM is thinking about taking that base, so that's something Scan has to stay on top of for the rest of the game. Another base being taken down here, not as impactful. It's a mineral base. Still useful, of course. We see melee upgrades are being made. Let's take a look. Yeah, he actually already has +2, so he's going to get +3. So this is going to make his Zerglings even more powerful. And, you know, with that additional mineral, like, Hydras are not very heavy on gas, and, of course, Zerglings are only minerals. So it is going to help in the production of both those. Now, Plague and a Darkstorm going down, getting on top of these tanks. Oh, man. He's going to pick off 3 tanks there for the low cost of a Defiler and like 4 Zerglings. So a little bit painful. You can see how hard it is to really attack into a Zerg playing this style. More Siege Tanks continuing to walk forward here. Wow. Oh my god. He's going to get a Lurker on top of all these Siege Tanks. A Radiate goes down, so they will be picked off, but he's going to lose some of these tanks. Let's see how many. Oh my god. Almost all of them. 2 of them end up getting out. About 6 siege tanks lost in the center during these scuffles, unfortunately. HM retaking this base. Let's take a look. Now, there's still a lot of vessels being created. He's got the gas for it, so it makes sense in a way, but I almost feel like grabbing some dropships. Honestly, even BCs, even though Hydra Defiler is a big counter to BC, with the siege tanks, they can still be powerful and still be used a little bit. But what I'm scared about is he's not making any progress against this base. A group of bios sent up just dies instantly. This army doesn't look stronger than it was 10 minutes ago, honestly, right? Like, slightly better upgrades, but it's basically the same Bioforce with the same amount of tanks as 10 minutes ago. So, a little bit problematic. I'm not sure how Scan is going to end up breaking through here against all the Dark Swarms. It just doesn't look like an army that can clear these areas. Now, a lot of Lings are popping out. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way as well, by the way. So, very, very scary stuff. Another Dark Storm goes down. The Fire Bat's going to be just incredibly useful here, but as Plague goes down, you have to retreat out of the area once again. More tanks and Marines being sent down. HM attacking in. Another Dark Swarm goes down. And, well, does he get that Defiler? Oh, doesn't quite get it. Another Dark Storm going down as well. He has to pull back. The Hydra's running up and just trying to pick off siege tanks. Very unfortunate here for Scan, losing so many of his tanks. He does have an additional base up here as well, so really doesn't want to lose the ground at this location. Also, take a look, all his vessels in that deep red. You see the Hydra just coming up and picking one off immediately. So much cost efficiency for our Zerg player here. Now more Hydra Link coming up. Let's take a look at Scan's production. He's still got the 2 factories, the 2 starports, and all of these barracks. 7 racks is going. A good spread of siege tanks still, but the number is not growing. His key unit's not growing. You know, that's I think the main problem. Like, there's just so much value being had. HM's money's starting to go up really high. He's still at like the same supply, both of them are, as before. But the quality of what HM is doing is getting higher and higher. And Scan is really unable to break anywhere, right? He killed this hatchery 1 time, and he might get it again. So that's a big deal. This is like an important moment that he gets this. But he's lost this base, hasn't really gained anywhere else in this time. Another vessel falls, unfortunately. And yeah, it does look like this base is going to end up going down. We don't see HM really scrambling to save it or anything. He does have that mineral base. Here's one important thing, okay? We're hitting the 21-minute mark. Normally at about 21 minutes, you get depleted from your first gas, and the second gas comes very quickly, right? So this is 1 minute worth of gas left over for HM. So we're going to get a very gas-starved Zerg. Even though Scan has lost a lot of tanks, he's kind of stayed alive long enough with Zerg on a few enough bases that he may end up starting to gain an advantage again. Like, you can't go just pure Zergling. And as those gases get depleted, of course, if you're not aware, in Brood War, you start mining 2 gas instead of 8, right? So that's 25%. So it's like this one's gone, or just about to be, and this one's gone, because like I said, this is just a lower gas. So instead of 3 gases there, we're down to like 3/4 of a gas, 75% of a gas, and then a gas here, right? Oh, this one's already depleted as well. Oh my God. Okay, so HM is like literally playing on 1 gas right now, just to put this into perspective. Okay, 1 gas Zerg, not too scary. I think that Scan, if he just kind of weathers this for another few minutes, the game should end up being his. You know, he's still got high-quality gas units, whereas HM is really going to be running out at this point. You can see the production tab. It's turning into almost purely Zerglings at this point. Really amazing to see the game actually kind of turn like this, because it felt like HM was really gaining control by killing the tanks over and over, pushing this base back a couple times. He does have this new base going up, so this is absolutely crucial. He must take this gas. He must hold this gas. There's a lot of supply for HM as well. You can see him really starting to balloon up. He's really focusing on macroing out very heavy Zergling-based compositions. Here we go. He's going to run in. Let's see what he can get done. Only a single Defiler with this army right now. The Dark Storm goes down. A good defense matrix here on the Siege Tank, and they do have 2-1 upgrades, by the way, which is a pretty big deal. Ooh, both vessels get picked off. All the tanks in this expansion going to end up dying as well. The Hydras continue to go forward. He has to be careful, though, not to waste these. All right, looks like he wants to pick off this command center. In the meantime, Scan trying for a counterattack. I feel like his army should probably start to include more and more fire bats. You can see that Zerglings are a bigger and bigger part of the composition here for HM. What a fantastic game we have for the return to ArtosisCasts. I'm so happy right now. This is an epic Terran versus Zerg. I feel like I'm learning so much throughout. Now, Scan has a couple dropships finally. He's kind of waiting to see these all game long. What is he going to end up doing? It looks like he wants to drop this base. What a great idea that is. Dropships are probably not even on the mind of HM because we haven't seen any this game. If you don't see him early, you kind of stop thinking about him. So a big drop going to come in. There are some Lings in here. How quickly can HM get over here and clean this up? Because he has... Oh, my God. Cracklings are so crazy. Did you see that? Literally, the 2 dropships did absolutely 0 damage. The Lings just clean them up oh so easily. And Scan continues to push back the Lurkers. Okay, so we are on a 2-gas Zerg, right? Because we have 4 depleted geysers, each mining 2 at a time, and 1 healthy geyser. So this is a 2-gas Zerg, kind of like the beginning of a game, right? So that's much more reasonable. Another Plague goes down here on Scan. Scan has to pull back. Another mineral base being taken. Very heavy Ling production. And also, we see Ultras starting to be made. I'm not sure if he got chitinous. I actually didn't see. He is getting Ultra speed. I would imagine he has chitinous since already we had, Ultra speed being made. So, yeah, that's going to be very strong Ultralisks. But when you have a very healthy amount of 2-1 siege tanks, that's going to do pretty well as long as they're in siege mode, right? The Ultras are going to take a lot of damage. Obviously, the Marines are already fully upgraded. Other than 1 armor upgrade. You know, sometimes you forget that or you don't have the money for it. And then, obviously, you still have some vessels around. So it feels like even though Ultras are joining the game, there's not really enough gas to make them a huge issue. There's not going to be that many Ultras, I think. Okay, now the Hydra Ling trying to come up, but Scan being very efficient here. The Fire Bats get picked off reasonably quickly. He dematrixes Zergling! Oh, my God! Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay. Well, definitely a bit of a misclick there. By the way, it looks like we did have a little bit of drop play here, but with the Lurkers got cleaned up. Lots of drones going back in. All right. So, well, some nice Dark Swarms go down. Push Scan's army back once again. Scan just continuing to macro really well with his Marine Medic. But the Plagues make him retreat like non-stop, but he's always walking back out. He's always pushing the Zerg army back as much as he possibly can. Really a masterclass in how to play a big macro game against this style. Still a lot of siege tanks sitting very defensively. The siege tank count actually getting kind of absurd at this point. Look at this. So we have a full 9 tanks there and then 6 tanks up here. So, yeah, 15 tanks total defending Scan's expansions. Going to go ahead and hit this mineral base. That looks like it should get taken out, but there is a counterattack going down. This could be a very important attack. The Ultra is kind of leading the charge, but the siege tank count is a bit too high. The Ultra, the Hydras, everything getting destroyed. The Lurkers run up, and as they burrow, again, they become invincible. The Fire Bats could do something, but that's it. Yeah, see, this Fire Bat may pick one off, but Scan's losing basically his entire army here. Oh, God, he loses vessels. He's losing siege tanks, losing SCVs. Lost a ton of bio there. He did end up killing this mineral base, but not nearly as important. I think that this attack from HM really super powerful. Did a lot there to Scan. Unfortunate for our Terran player. Taking a look back at HM's army, what is he fielding? Still a few Hydras out there, a lot of Lings, and just a Defiler to 2 still. The siege tanks being pulled out of this area. This mineral base is empty. This base starting to get pretty low, and it looks like finally Scan does want to take this location. So we're going to see if he can end up holding on to this. The Lings look like they want to go ahead and clear this area where we saw Scan very active before. This base still being held, by the way, is like very important. This is the only full mining gas. This is like something that we're going to keep looking at, keep checking up on, because it feels like it's something Scan should attack if he can. No lurkers left over there as well. A little stim forward here by the Bioforces, but no medics to help him, so they're actually going to get picked off relatively quickly. Firebat trying to hero his way through some Hydras. They are unable to do so. Now, HM is even getting low on minerals, man. This is going to turn out maybe to be like a mined-out game for HM. I don't know. He might end up running out of minerals at some point. They have the same amount of workers, as you can see. Scan's army still definitely, well, at this point, definitely feels a lot stronger. This little group that we see HM running around with, like, it's okay. Look at this, the Hydras, by the way, coming up to zone out those Vessels. Vessels don't really want to radiate Hydras. They will if they have to. But, yeah, the army is just not as strong. Zerg's such a gas-focused race in this matchup. Now, the Defiler does have to throw Darkstorm upon itself. The rest of HM's army coming down. So he will save this base, but that Firebat might end up getting a lot of kills. Looks like gets shredded before we can see exactly how many kills he could have gotten there. So, yeah, that attack ends up not doing too much. Scan's still maintaining a very high army supply. Keeping this base going right now as well. I love this Siege Tank spread. Some inside, some outside. Gonna go ahead back up from this area. And so it feels to me right now like HM has stopped making any progress in this game. He had a lot of good attacks throughout where he was breaking certain areas and like really reducing siege tank counts or killing a lot of vessels, but we haven't seen anything like that in a while. So he's trying to take this base, but Scan knows, like he's going to start leaning on that area, right? Look at that. Irradiates upon the very key gas units here. And, like, okay, maybe you can get in, maybe you can do something like force a lift on the command center, but you're not going to permanently deny this. Like, the siege tanks will eventually chew through these Hydralisks. Hydralisks doing whatever that they can right here. And, by the way, a cute little drop right there. But they're not really going to be able to get that much done, right? Like, honestly, if you send this Firebat in, they have to run away. In fact, one outside of the Darkstorm here having a hard time. Firebat does get it on top of it. This is silly. He has to run back. A couple lurkers being made, trying to utilize that Darkstorm's potential. But yeah, that's not going to end up working out either. It looks like HM setting up another attack. This might be one of the last ones, honestly. He just doesn't have very much going on. You know, these two lurker attacks are getting cleaned up by the Vessels slowly but surely over time. And, well, you know what? This is a reasonable clear. He almost gets all the tanks. One lurker left over with a radiate on it. You know what? I think Scan is going to end up taking this game down. We finally see the supply dropping. We've had a pretty consistent, like, 100 to 115 supply for HM, and now he's starting to dip below, right? He just doesn't have a lot of tools left to deal with. Lings, a couple Ultras, but the massively upgraded Marine Medics falling back into Siege Tanks, falling back into Vessels should be enough. And yeah, this is looking very grim indeed for HM right now. He's trying to push into the center and just can't get anything done. You know, this is a game where HM has literally been starved off the map. Scan could kill almost nothing throughout the game, but just persevered over and over and over and over, right? Like, HM got to mine out so many bases, and Scan simply denied him from the north part of the map. So, no real chances left here for HM, I would say. You can see their radiates are hurting more and more and more at this point, right? Like, when you have a huge economy, it doesn't matter quite as much, but when you really don't have anything left and every gas unit you have is a target, you're going to have to give up or go kill your opponent. And he is not going to be able to break Scan at this point. Scan getting ready to come out for another attack. This is actually, it's funny to see, right? Because this is invincible against what HM has. He just can't break that. It irradiates slowly but surely are going to come out. His only chance is to hold this for a long time. And it's like Scan he's making his way up here. So, like, I don't think you're going to have it for too long. Little counterattack, trying to draw some attention down here. Too many fire bats, too many siege tanks to really make anything happen. Another drop going after this base once again. And Scan now trying to break through. Let's see what HM can do. He's built up a decent amount of ultras, but they're all damaged from irradiates. So it seems like he is going to get cleaned here as well. He throws down a Dark Storm, but that's an irradiate ultra. It's not going to end up lasting here. It gets picked off. And a drop in here as well. GG, Scan wins game 1.